Hi, I'm Al. Oh my gosh. We have a special guest tonight, guys.
What's up, buddy?
Oh my gosh. Welcome to everybody.
Chris is like, oh, sorry, I logged into the wrong show. I'm gonna go ahead and...
I thought this was the other podcast.
Everybody, I'm Al. I'm here with Ryan.
Howdy.
And of course, we're here with Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Well, I'm a little surprised not to see Brandon. Did he give me his invite? Is that how this works?
He's
Probably. His internet is on the frits. So
he'll be here. He'll probably be jumping in and out, getting really angry as the night goes on because
country living.
Yeah,
you know how it is.
Yeah. Pixelation's cool, man. You know, it's like the new hip thing. So anyway, we have a lot of great topics to talk about. But first off, how's everybody doing tonight? Ryan, you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch with us?
Yeah. So hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Definitely hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything that we've got going on, all the videos we're putting out. Also give us a follow on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNE, and we now have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/CiNEMACHiNE. We appreciate all the support that we get there.
And then there were four. And then there were four. For crying out loud. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm okay. How are y'all?
Chris got on and he was like, he thought you had tricked him into jumping on the show without you being here.
I don't want to be here with Al. Come on.
See, what's funny is I came down here, like I had 3 minutes to spare. And I came down.
There it is.
And yeah, see, that's part of the story. I came down here and I realized I didn't have my charger because when I hotspot from my phone, it drains my battery. So I had to run back upstairs, get my charger, and then I left the lights off in my stairs. And
this is
I basically fell down the stairs getting back down here.
Athlete.
So I definitely missed a few steps.
Well, glad you're not dead.
No holes.
And
no
I'm okay.
Holes in the drywall, right? We're good.
I don't think so. The lights are still off, but I'll find out later.
That's good. That's good, Brandon. You know, we always get a little nervous that you're not going to be able to make it, that technology is going to take over. But
it's true.
Got to get an
always a
ISP
possibility.
promo or something. Sponsored.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I started GoFundMe for Brandon.
Well, like one day I want Brandon to tell the audience his stories of his conversations with the internet people, because they're pretty freaking hilarious. From if you're not in those shoes. I've been in those shoes before where I used to live, and I lived in that place for 11 years, and it got to a point to where I was just screaming at people that I didn't know or meet. I was like I had to just say stupid stuff, but my internet was on the next day. So yeah. And then when I was looking for a house, I literally signed the paperwork for a house. Well, I was getting ready to sign the paperwork for a house. And right before I put the pen to the paper, I said, "Now, who's your internet provider in this area?" And they said the name of that company. I was like, "Nope, I'm out." And the lady was upset. So I understand
the name of that company. I like it.
Yes. Tell us. Being nice. Just tell us.
Yeah. Well, once I get good internet, then I'll do a tell all.
Rule the world.
I need some distance.
So in 30 years, everybody come back for those stories. Luna can tell us in her mid 30s. So
right.
Well, guys, we have many stories to talk about in Hollywood. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm excited about this. I don't know if you guys know Wes Anderson's making a new movie. And he keeps adding. Right. It's like I'm really excited about Hope Davis being in this. I like her a lot. She used to be in a lot of stuff. Don't see her a whole lot anymore. Liev Schreiber, of course, like him. Jeffrey Wright, Bryan Cranston, amongst Who else is in there? I mean, it's like everybody. Seriously, Tom Hanks, Margot Robbie, Scarlett Johansson, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm running out of names, but I know I'm not
All of
at the end the
Hollywood.
list. Yeah, and Bill Murray's in there because he's an automatic yes. So whenever that's what he says.
Yeah.
So we always talk about how the star-studded cast really doesn't bode well for a good movie. People go for the cast. They're a little let down because maybe their expectations are too high, or maybe they get a little too big for their britches.
Hope Davis looks like the progressive girl to me. Flo?
Really? Not at all. I don't see that at all. She's in a bunch of stuff late 90s, early 2000s that I remember. But do you guys think that this is doomed, or do you think, hey, it's at the helm of what I consider a good director? I know not everybody here is in the same boat. Chris, how do you feel about this?
I don't think any of us would say. I know you're referring to me, but I would never say he's a bad director. His movies don't appeal to me.
I'm a big Wes Anderson fan.
There we go.
I'm not thinking it's doomed. I got a lot of faith in him. His more recent stuff isn't my favorite. I've always been a real Royal Tenenbaums guy.
Royal Tenenbaums is funny. It's one of the
probably I do like that
funniest
one.
movies.
Other ones. I just don't know anything like title stuff.
I'm not too worried about it. I do get what you're saying, and I could see why a lot of people might be a little fretful. But
yeah, I mean, I think the cast comes in and takes over sometimes. So Ryan, I'll name some movies for you: Rushmore, a Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Heard of it,
which Brandon talked about. I think it was last week he talked about it.
Ryan was watching.
Baseball.
Dreams.
Yeah, the Darjeeling Limited.
Speaking of, just as a little bit of an aside, since I missed that first part of last week's episode, I went back and listened to the part that I missed.
Yeah.
And Al, you were being very curmudgeon-y about the whole Field of Dreams scenario, and
on your behalf.
Well, I don't.
I even said, Brandon's not here. I have to be the one against sports. I did say that.
Well, one of the things that you said was that your dad was making a comment about it being historic, and and you were like, "It's not historic," and I actually think it is historic. I think it was the first Major League Baseball in Idaho. Correct? Isn't that the historic nature of
it's Iowa?
The game.
He was saying he thought it
Idaho, Iowa.
Yeah, that's where Louis Guzman lives.
I'm sorry.
You know what's funny? I'm sorry. You know what's funny about this?
Trying to give me crap, and he poops.
You know what's funny about this is I bookmarked that article to reference so that I got the state right, because I knew that I would mix them up come showtime. I knew that I would say the wrong one. And going into this thing, I was 100% sure that it was Idaho.
So he was like, yeah, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to peacock a little bit. I'm going to get up in Al's grill about this. And boom, wrong
Well,
state.
Regardless. Idaho, potato.
Oregon, whatever. No problem.
Well, I get it, man. The tumble down the stairs could have flustered anybody.
Yeah.
Listen, yes, I may have a mild concussion, so just cut me some slack.
Do you have a life alert just in case?
Yeah.
I don't. They don't. If I did, who would come?
There would be no signal. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon's gonna die. I was trying to get some help.
That is my life.
I can't believe Al's laughing at the prospect of you dying, Brandon.
So, I mean, in all reality, Brandon, yes, I was trying to tell my dad that it wasn't historic. I was a little bit. See what I'm saying? So,
that one didn't even fill the whole screen.
It's the best one I could grab. Seriously, the biggest one they had. And if I stretched it anymore, it looked bad.
One they had.
It was yeah. So anyway, it's a good clip. I am not worried about it being historic or not historic, but it is not a historic game. My dad was trying to say it's historic because it harkens back to something historical. That's what he was saying. And that is not, it does not harken back to anything that
Look, man, we get it. The Cubs suck this year, all right? Gosh.
Yeah.
Braves are great.
They are. They're in first place, up 4 games, bro. Check
Don't
the
worry, they
standings.
won't make it to the World Series. They still won't make it to the World. They can do
Got
well
him.
here.
That's a twist. That's very twisty.
Oh, man, love
Brandon
it.
got all excited about that one. You can tell when Brandon hits a drop because you look at him and he's got a smirk. How's it going, Nani G? He's got a smirk on his face.
At least you can
like,
see me.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I tuned into Cape Cast the other night, everybody else was like all bright and shiny, and Brandon's all. So,
I was going. It's an artistic flair that I'm doing.
What you do doing?
We got RoboCop.
all right. Anyway, all right. Moving on. Ryan, still holding your breath for that new James Bond movie?
Yes, I am.
I saw that the soundtrack's coming out on vinyl, so I mean, at least you'll have
it
that.
is.
So that's something. MGM was purchased. Poor Brandon. Don't play into these games, Nani. Please.
I appreciate you, Nani.
I swear we need the SPCA music, like Sarah McLachlan. So anyway, James Bond is homed with MGM, and MGM was purchased by Amazon, and everybody was a little bit nervous. Go ahead, Brandon. They were a little bit nervous about. Let's see, gave it to him. He didn't even do it. They were a little.
Well, you got to be nervous about your damn kid.
He's so happy. So, by the way, this is Brandon, like elated everybody. They were worried that they were going to kind of go in different routes.
Well, you got to be nervous about your damn kid.
I said worried.
Well, you got to be nervous about your damn kid.
Okay, go ahead, Al.
It's the little things in life.
Even Nani G may tune out of this one.
The cool thing about me not having good internet is I can still get the drops to work because the drops are in StreamYard. So they don't rely on my internet. As long as I can initiate the drop, it'll go. So
Yeah, but you don't get to see them. So so they're not going to be, according to
thrilling.
Barbara Broccoli, they're not going to be doing a James Bond TV series. Ryan, how does this make you feel? Because you're the James
I am absolutely fine with that. I'm usually open to like I love how Marvel and DC are kind of getting into TV stuff, but there's something about this IP that's just so I don't know. It's very classic, and
I think you could wear this one down pretty quickly. Chris, are you a fan of James Bond movies?
On paper, I love the character, but I've never been able to get into the movies.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Brandon.
But you've seen some, right?
Yeah, I've definitely seen them. And
Okay.
if I were a bigger fan, I think I'd be relieved that it wasn't going to be a show. It just
Right.
seems like something that could be so easily formulaic. You could just be real lazy with it. And I have zero faith in anyone, so I think it would end up that way. So I would be like taking a little bit of a deep breath right now of relief that it's not going to be a series.
Yeah, I think if like I went and watched James Bond with my grandfather, so I like it for the fact my grandfather loved it and my grandmother hated it, so it was like doing something wrong when I was a kid. So my grandfather would take me like, shh, don't tell mama, and you just don't mention James Bond around my grandmother. So, but I'll say this: I like Skyfall. I thought it was a pretty good movie overall.
love that one.
But as far as James Bond I'm not like, oh, I got to see every James Bond. However, I do know that this is a beloved franchise by a lot of people, and I don't think anybody's really asking for a James Bond TV show. And there's so many IPs out there now that are similar to James Bond that have kind of aped the James Bond mold. I think that there's enough out there. Come up with something that has a different skin on it with the same idea, and just don't wear everything into the ground because you can't come up with anything new. That's the way.
Well, they've got they also have Jack Ryan and everything. So
yeah, and that's
like,
I mean,
yeah.
And you got
not that that's exactly the same, but same vein.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it would wear thin pretty quickly. Brandon, any thoughts on the James Bond TV series being nixed?
Not really. I mean, I honestly didn't even know that it was a thing until today, like an actual thing they were floating around. But I do feel like James Bond as a character is one that should stay exclusive to movies. It's off things that world to TV. But yeah, as far as James Bond himself, then I'm glad that they're keeping the focus on cinema.
Hey, everybody out there in TV land. We're going to treat this like Tinkerbell. If you clap really, really hard, Brandon can get better internet. So, so let's hear you clap.
Was I dropping out?
Yeah, you're.
Part of it. We got
the gist of it.
Yeah.
It sounded just as important. All right. So we all like physical media, right? Chris, are you as big a purchaser of movies as we are?
Not so much. Used to be, and
now you buy Bitcoin.
Like I just threw a lot of money away. I was like, oh, what am I going to do with these DVDs now that I don't want to watch them in Blu-rays or a thing? And streaming is easy, so I don't do too much physical collecting anymore with movies.
Yeah. Now, Chris, everyone, is the one that really kind of got all of us into vinyl. I think he got both of you into vinyl, and then all three of you.
Seed, and 3 years later, they hopped on.
Yeah. Some of us were very stubborn about it, like me.
Well, I just kept arguing.
Ryan talking about how he would never get into it.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I just can't do it, man. I just can't do it.
What was causing you to drag your feet, Ryan?
I don't know.
Sporty enough for him.
Wasn't bro enough, Al.
Couldn't chest bump a record. No, I mean,
no.
I had my
probably
trepidation. No, I was just gonna say, go ahead. I mean, I was just saying I had my trepidation as well. So
I don't know. I didn't really know much about like how packaging was involved with it, and I'm not like, as both of you know, I'm not as big of an audiophile as Brandon is. Like, even like editing some of our shows, I just don't pick up on stuff as well as other folks. So I don't know, but I caught the bug.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, it's pretty addictive. Brandon, did you ever feel like I don't want to do this vinyl thing, or did you just always want to do it, and then it's like, okay, finally got the house squared away and all that stuff, we can delve into this? How was it for you?
I don't know. I mean, I was a little reserved just based on, I know how obsessive I can get when it comes to things like this, just collecting in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not as obsessive as like Basement Blues is with his Blu-ray collection, but I'm pretty obsessive with my Blu-rays and collecting them and keeping them alphabetical and that kind of thing, and then investing in tech around that. And that's kind of what I was fearful of with the whole vinyl thing. And yeah,
well, you got to be nervous about you damn kid.
It's true. I know. I need to keep that in mind. But at the same time, it's it's getting dangerous.
Yeah, 90G said it's a great bug to catch. I think outside of Criterion, I'm buying more vinyl nowadays. Like I am tapping both veins to that little drug right there. It's super addictive, but it's fun And I don't know. I hope that somebody will come along, and there's really Mobile Fidelity that is closest thing that I know anyway, to like a Criterion or like a boutique that really takes the care in vinyl. And I really hope that somebody comes out there and just like really takes the care, because some of these pressings, they look cool and all that, but they just don't sound that great, you know? So whatever.
Yeah, it can be hit or miss.
Yeah.
I was listening to I think a lot of us, I know Ryan did, picked up the Scott Pilgrim pressing. I was listening to it today, and I was a little underwhelmed with the quality of the pressing in comparison to have listened to it a lot, you know, just through Spotify.
Have you seen it live? How much they're live?
That's true. So
that was the last we heard of Brandon.
He's here. We got him.
There we go.
He's back.
Chris, you own just the straight black vinyl of that, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No.
Oh,
you are mistaken. I got the red one.
That's right.
I got the $1 from Goodwill. But you can
Nice.
upset me over other records.
Nice. Well, I know that you usually say, "Oh, I just got the black one." You know, like you make the joke, I've got a crummy black copy.
It's not a joke. I'm actually upset whenever Ryan finds these deals on some new pressing that's in the cool color, and it's like, oh, I have that album, but mine's just like the boring black vinyl. It's not limited.
There is something appealing about the colored pressings.
There is.
So pretty.
And it really depends. I mean, I watched a bunch of videos on this, but it really just depends on the pressing and everything. It doesn't matter what color it is. It's, you know, so a lot of people are like, color vinyl is not as pure. Actually, they add the black just as much as they add the color. So calm down, folks. Actually, later on in the show, I'll be showing you a new vinyl that I picked up this week. It's a soundtrack.
Oh, what a tease. What a tease.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that, folks.
Brandon.
Yeah, so Brandon didn't shut down his stuff. He just left. He's just like, I'm out.
There's no problem with the internet.
He just walked into a soundproof theater and he's just like yelling curse words right now.
He went in there to grab a new vinyl or something. I'm guessing. So, all right, we'll talk. Hit.
Look at that tattoo.
Oh my gosh. Hey, everybody, pens and needles. You back, Brandon? Good.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey.
So everybody, we all talk about physical media quite a bit. I don't know if you guys are a fan. I was a big fan of this movie. 4K, I guess, copy or release of Who Framed Roger Rabbit will be coming out in both Steelbox and just your regular sleeves. So, were you guys fans of this movie back in the day? Or are you too young? I don't know.
I love this movie.
Yeah, this movie's great. You'll never see anything like this movie ever again because of all the licenses and stuff. Go ahead, Chris. Were you a fan of this?
I love this movie. Yeah, this was one of those movies. I don't know if you guys were the same as me, but there's certain movies that in my childhood would be like a scene that I was terrified to watch, and I'd always avoid that scene. And there was never
the eyes
really
anything
out? Too scary about it. I don't even remember what it was with this. Maybe it was like as he was getting melted. But this is one of those that for whatever reason I had like a scene that I avoided. And I think it was usually like my older brother would tell me like, we're about to see a scary scene, and I would just be afraid immediately. So I never even probably saw the scene during my childhood. But this was one of those films for me. I had like a section that I would avoid because my brother told me it was scary.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd is an actor that you see his name on the screen and you know who he is in the movie, but you forget it's Christopher Lloyd. I mean, he's such a good character actor. It's ridiculous. Like him in the Dennis the Menace movie as the bad guy. Like my niece and nephews to this day will not watch that movie. They're just like, nope, I'm done. Like, and they're like
scary scenes.
They're straight up old enough to not be scared by that, but they won't have anything to do with it. So I am excited about this because they had the Blu-ray copy going around a while and they kept putting it on sale for like $5 here and there. And I just held off, even though it was just $5, I held off because I figured that this being such a beloved movie, It was the melting for me. 90G says scream. That's screaming. Yeah. 90G too was scared. Now I know people that were scared. Actually, I have a cousin that is terrified of ET. Will not go anywhere near ET. Like we were at Universal.
I have a friend who's terrified of ET.
100 yards away from the ET ride, and she was straight up having a panic attack over ET. I was like, dude, what's like this is too. She had asthma. She has real bad asthma. She was having an asthma attack, and she forgot her inhaler. So we had to go get her
Hilarious.
a carbonated beverage. I had to go run down like all these stairs, go get her a carbonated beverage to help her out. That helps with asthma attacks if anybody knows that. But anyway,
Then you had one from running down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like at the bottom of the stairs. She was at the top of the stairs. And I was like, I drank her carbonated beverage. It was a good funeral. So, but no, it's funny how those things just get stuck in your brain is what I'm saying. Like just you grow up and you still feel like your parents' sheets or covers are bulletproof or whatever. It's just kind of funny, but, so there is a movie I believe everybody here is a fan of. It's going to have a sequel, and this fellow was just on the JRE, Joe Rogan. So Mr. Neil Blomkamp, he was on there talking about District 10 and other his new movie Demonic that's out in theaters this weekend, which we'll talk about later. This is going to be stripped down and bare bones. He says like. They have more in the script, but he likes
Sounds
it
kinky.
he likes to keep it as simple and kind of gritty and everything as you can, because he said it makes you have to get more creative. It forces you to get more creative. Everybody here a District 9 fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love District 9.
Yeah, I like District 9. I think Chappie just kind of edges it just a little bit for me as my favorite of his. I think it's a silly movie, but I still like District 9. Don't get me wrong. Chris, do you want to see a District 10? Do you want to see a sequel, or is District 9 enough for you?
I've wanted to see a sequel for a while, but at this point, I'm just a little
Hesitant.
It's just it's been too long. I feel like I do like hearing that it's gonna be stripped down. He did Elysium, right? That was one of his. He did.
Yeah.
That was one I was excited to see because he was behind it, and the designer Sid Mead was involved. But I don't even think I sat all the way through that movie. It just totally lost me. It was just a little too much going on. None of it really came together for me. So I am relieved to hear it's maybe kind of back to basics and stripped down. And I was a really big fan of District 9. I think I like that one better than Chappie. But I don't know. I have my reservations if it's been too long.
Well, you got to be nervous about it. You're a damn kid.
Lord, I have to have Dwight Yoakam on the show to say the line. So I think a lot of people
maybe we can get him for the Clint Eastwood movie.
Cry Macho.
We'll get him for
We'll
reach out to his people.
Movie, I think.
Yeah. He's so good in movies. I think a lot of people have that same issue with the Avatar movies that are going to be flooding the theaters for the next 20 years or however long. It's a little too late,
I didn't like the first one.
I didn't either.
It was a bad version of The Last Samurai.
I was just very neutral about it.
Last Samurai meets Fern Gully.
Yes.
But
Doesn't make it bad.
I just said it was bad.
I just said it was bad too. It's okay.
I just said it was neutral.
But just saying that it's Last Samurai meets Fern Gully doesn't mean it's bad.
He said it was a bad version of Last Samurai. But you haven't seen Last Samurai because you don't subscribe.
Oh, look at that.
Samurai.
Hey.
Oh, look
I
at
have seen Last Samurai. I own
Marvel
Last
can't get
Samurai.
me. It's in a machine can.
That's all right, man. Just keep holding off. You're gonna.
What was it like
get
on
that like
set?
$250 a day at some point. They're just gonna give in.
I know. When they message me saying, Clint, will you please?
No, this is the funny thing. This is going to be funny. We're going to break it here, and we're going to have Chris on, and it's going to be like production shuts down, and they're like, we just can't do it. What's wrong? Is Is that Jeremy Renner that does that?
Is it me? Is it me?
Is it Jeremy Renner? Jeremy Renner
Yeah.
that's holding it up? No, we have the Scoop exclusive. It's Chris. It's already a stand-in. Is that what you would be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be hilarious. Yeah. So Brandon, how about District
What?
10? Are you pumped about it? Are you amped up? Are you throwing? You doing the Matthew McConaughey? Are you doing that, Chase? What are you doing? You excited?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love this one. And,
Ryan, are you excited?
And that movie.
There might be a bloodbath in Royston tonight.
Thank God Melissa didn't come down with fruit.
Yeah, exactly.
He just smashes the tray down.
Poor guy.
I feel for him because that is the worst. Like
It is the worst. I had that, like I said, 11 years. Anyway, Ryan, District 10. I know, here's the thing. I know Brandon's actually pretty excited about this because he and I, we really like Neil Blomkamp, and we were amped up about the Alien when it was rumored he was going to do that. And then when RoboCop came around, Brandon actually thought about watching the original RoboCop to get ready for that. And then when that fell through, he said, nah, there's no need to watch it. I've already watched the remake. So I know that he's a fan, and he got excited today whenever he was on Joe Rogan and messaged us and told us that we should watch. So Ryan, do you share that excitement?
I think I'm kind of where Chris is. Like, I'll see it. It's not something that I'm like crazy anticipatory for at this point, but yeah, I mean, I'll see it. I've liked all his movies. So,
are you guys going to go see Dune?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know if I know anything about that one, but sure.
I think I'm gonna go see it this weekend. Actually, I'm pretty excited about that one. I'm gonna go to the theater to see it. So it's limited.
I probably will not do that.
I
have plans this weekend.
I have plans this weekend too, but I can ditch those. So
yeah, they sound like stupid plans.
They really do.
Let's all agree not to go to Royston right now.
Well, we know we can't get service. So
if we show up, we might get murdered by Brandon.
I don't know. Brandon be like, hey, let's all use our phones and like we'll just mesh Wi-Fi here. So
right. Our powers combined.
Poor Brandon. Come back on the show, man. Like I think he actually left this time. I think he got really upset, and I hope he knows.
He's ripping cords out of his walls right now.
He's like
throwing his router around.
Theater means nothing, and he's just ripping stuff down. Yeah,
I mean, what does he expect? He went underground at a farm. Like, is under farm known for great internet service? I don't know.
Yeah,
you know when you put it
he
that
did this
way.
to himself.
I mean,
oh, there he is. He's coming back, everybody. He's coming back, everybody. You had a breath
Welcome
from telling
back.
all the neighbors to stop using internet. So,
It's 5 miles to the nearest one. So yeah.
we were hoping you would come back. So, all right, Brandon, explain.
Brandon got off the show and he had a Dusty from Just Friends blow up with his guitar.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
People had to be dying behind camera when they were shooting that scene.
All right, Brandon, explain your feelings about District 10.
Probably shouldn't. Not gonna. I'm just gonna be an observer tonight. Here's what I'll do.
Ask
I'm gonna
Brandon only
text.
short questions. Raise your hand for yes.
Yeah, I'm yes or no questions, and I'll just text you guys, and you can give my responses.
Just put your response in the comments.
Chat, Brandon. Hit us up in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, hit us up in the chat, Brandon.
Yeah.
Just work the chat and the drops, and you'll be good. Don't worry about the graphics. That might be hindering you as well. How about that? Uh-oh. I thought you were frozen. Okay. All right. So, something I don't know. I don't know if you guys are. I know Brandon's a fan of this director, but anybody else a Kevin Smith fan? I mean, would you consider yourself a fan, or do you like a couple things?
As he's gotten bigger and more outspoken lately, I kind of tire of him a bit, but I've always been growing up like a pretty big fan of Kevin Smith and his earlier work.
Yeah, I like Mallrats quite a bit. That was the first blue DVD I ever owned.
Do you remember when Jersey Girl came out?
Yes.
So my buddy's dad was telling me, like when I was young and it was coming out, that he had listened to some radio interview these guys are doing with Kevin Smith over Jersey Girl coming out, and they were being like pretty cool with him. And as soon as he got off the line, they started just like tearing him apart, like, oh, what a stupid movie, and blah blah blah, and making fun of it. And he called back in and he's like, what kind of cowards are you? And so like calling that online.
See, I would respect that, but nowadays he'd probably cry about it. But I didn't like, I'll say this, I didn't like Clerks 2. Clerks 1 is just fine. It's not like the greatest movie like a lot of people like. I've been very vocal about I like the Clerks cartoon though. It's very different thing. So I myself can't say that I'm excited about a Dogma. Chasing Amy is almost unwatchable. I agree with that, but a lot of people, Nani G, say that Chasing Amy is like his Citizen Kane. A lot of people think that is such a great movie. So I guess to each their own. So anyway, are you guys excited about a Clerks 3? Do you think it's just really trying to pump water from a dry well? Ryan?
No, not at all.
I'll
Brandon?
still watch it, but I'm not excited.
Yeah. Brandon, I think you were a fan of the first two.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, just surface level fan of those first two movies. I like the characters. I'd be interested to see, kind of catch back up and see what they're doing now in that world. But I mean, it's not like something I'm chomping at the bit to see. But
yeah,
do
we know if this will be like an Amazon or whatever?
Like, I look at this picture and look at the rest of the cast, and it's like Rosario Dawson. She looks very nice. These other guys didn't age that well. Like they're showing their age, and which Rosario Dawson's just easy to look at in general, but no offense to the other ones.
Brandon's
offense
got a
taken.
crush.
Melissa's gonna be so mad.
She doesn't watch the show.
She knows. Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the movie Kids? That's one of those movies that it's hard to watch, but
All of them.
I have no legs. That is one of those movies that I don't think I'll ever return to, but I watched it quite a bit as a preteen teen.
That was like a 3-disc VHS thing, right? Or tape.
3-disc VHS.
It makes sense somewhere. I just remember it being like a big old box because my brother had it.
It could have been. I can't remember. I don't remember, honestly. I just remember it being on like HBO and stuff a lot. That's what I remember. And I thought I was rebelling because it was a thing to like push back on. Rosario Dawson was in that movie. That's why I bring it up. And like Chloe Sevigny and a lot of other actors and actresses. But that movie is one, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go out and see it. Find it streaming or something. I don't know if I would say buy it, but I would say at least watch it and see what you think, because it's right before it's like right as the AIDS epidemic was really ramping up, and like where they started really pushing that on like MTV and such like that. And that movie has one of those endings to where you're so angry that, like, I don't want to spoil it, but you're so angry at the end of that movie and I think that's what movies are supposed to do sometimes. So that's why I suggest everybody go watch it and let us know what you think of it. Yo, what's up? Ronan, was it Ronan Joe?
Ronan Joe Chronicles.
I'm just gonna do this.
I like that
Because
better.
maybe this will work better. I don't know.
And I feel like I'm talking to Zack Snyder, so it's even better. It's great.
Yeah.
All right. So
Brandon could be better.
yeah,
right.
Ronan Joe, we got some sicklies over in Brandon's internet. He's
It's on Struggle Bus tonight.
yeah, he's his. I was gonna make
All
a
of
joke,
us
but I
are
think we'll
great.
get banned from YouTube. Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. How are you? All right. So, Clerks 3. Not really
Chris,
excited.
Chris,
Anybody out there?
What you drinking, Chris? Corona?
Apple juice. Apple juice.
It's just apple juice.
Yeah. See?
Viral water.
Apple juice. I love that.
Yeah. Everybody has to take a drink as soon as.
Yeah.
So, did you hear about Bruce Willis is now starring in some Russian phone commercials, but it's really not Bruce Willis. It's just a deep fake. So, like,
Did y'all watch this?
no.
That's interesting though. So is he's getting paid for it?
Yeah, he agreed to it.
That's
Probably has-
He'll do
crazy.
anything for money.
Probably has more
Well, I'm just
emotion than
saying,
he
that's,
actually
that's
does.
wild though. Like you can do celebrities now getting paid for deep fake appearances of themselves.
Yep. He doesn't have any dialogue, I don't think, in the commercial. So he just basically paid to let them use his likeness.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or they paid him.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm watching it right now, and whoever the actual actor is emoting more than Bruce Willis has in the last like 12 years. So that's nice to see. The deep fake is not that great. Like it's not bad, but it's you can kind of see the seams. So yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago at this point, they had a hologram at Coachella of Tupac, and everybody was nervous that they were going to have like they were rooming.
What you
They
got to
were
be nervous about? You damn kid.
Keyword.
I'm smiling.
Yes.
You can't see me, but I'm smiling.
We know.
But there were rumors that they were going to do tours of dead celebrities and have hologram concerts. So now basically they're going to have the likeness of older actors and actresses in movies. So do these actors and actresses even need to show up anymore? Do they just make money?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's basically animation at this point. It's like with the little suit, the little pajama suit with all the balls all over it. Does this concern anyone for the future of movies as fast as the technology's coming along for deepfake?
No.
Doesn't really concern me for movies. It concerns me more for political things than anything else.
Yeah, because people
as far as
believe it.
spreading misinformation and
taken off yet.
Mm-hmm. What was that, Chris?
Brandon's political career hasn't even taken off yet, and could already end. They get a lot of footage off of this show when his internet's working.
Yeah, I mean, I like what Kyle Donegan does with the face swap and everything, but he does it so crude that you can tell it's not real. It's like but it's hilarious. So I like that. It's pretty funny. But I don't want to go to a movie starring Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and Marilyn Monroe. Like Jackie Chan's the only alive one. I mean,
I want to see that movie.
and
it's got action. It's got comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Marilyn Monroe.
What's the last one?
Marilyn Monroe is the sensei.
Yes.
That's the movie.
I would watch that movie.
I think most
That
people
might be
would.
Tarantino's last movie.
It might be. It might be. He might be rumored to play it. Leave the rest in peace alone unless it serves the narrative. Right on, Ronan Joe. I do think so. A bunch of years ago, I wish I could send a hologram of myself to my job. that's valid. Yeah, Brandon's gonna send a deep fake with somebody
Brandon's
with better
not
internet.
sending anything. All right.
No, Brandon's gonna send a picture of himself, and
I
we're
don't
gonna
have
have
the
Chris.
bandwidth to do anything.
Exactly.
Exhibit A.
Well, you can meet
Brandon's
somebody
gonna
with a
leave
flash drive.
a voicemail.
Yeah, we're just gonna do deep fake with somebody that has good internet. So that'll be the show. So either way. But no, I don't, this concerns me because they're already not really trying in Hollywood. So if they're just not trying and they have people that aren't as talented as the people that have their face plastered on theirs, that concerns me. But if they're just doing it for like a little like flashback scene or something like that, I'm fine with that. I understand needing to do that for some, or if somebody died during production and they need to finish the movie, that's a little crass, but I get it.
I think those are all good things, but I feel like where it gets a little gray is when you have like, I feel like a lot of these like estates from these passed on actors are going to get a little greedy and just say, you can use his likeness and cut us a check and that kind of thing. So I don't want to see that.
It kind of taints their legacy as well, because somebody that didn't grow up, I wasn't around when Bruce Lee was around, but like somebody that didn't grow up with Bruce Lee and in his prime, they go and watch a movie with Bruce Lee, and then they go and watch a movie back in the day. I don't know that people would put two and two together and say, oh, he's not alive, but he's not very good in this movie, but he's good in all these other movies. And I think it'll play tricks in your head to think that you actually watched him. Is that a picture of Zack Snyder?
Joe.
Jesus. Yes. It's,
you betcha.
Yes. Yeah. The real Jesus is not happy, but, so, all right. Well, folks, let's talk about, we've got a ton of movies coming out. We've got some physical media, but let's talk about what we've been watching this week. Chris, have you watched anything this week?
Well, Kelly's mom was just in town, and she has none of.
We went and we watched The Shining.
So yeah, no, there was one thing we didn't watch because Kelly wanted her to watch every show that she hasn't caught up with. So I rewatched a lot of things.
Okay.
Big Little Lies season 2, which I think is terrible, but I really like season 1. Watched a lot of The Office.
What is Big Little Lies? I don't know that I know that.
Is that the Reese Witherspoon show?
Yeah, it's on HBO.
Yeah, I watched the first season. Good.
Yeah.
I watched it.
Actually, I think 9 Perfect Strangers, that's by the same author that wrote Big Little Lies and The Flight Attendant, and I watched The Flight Attendant again as well when our mom was here. A little bit,
Well played, Brandon. Well played.
What If? I've been watching What If.
Okay. So that's basically where they say, what if this character were actually the other Marvel character?
Yeah, they had comics where they did that in the past, and I always liked those growing up because it'd be like, there'd be some iconic, comic book issue where it was like Spider-Man was faced with killing someone, but he thought about his responsibility and didn't do it, and then his story continues, however. But he'd be like, what if he did pull the trigger? And then it goes down like the dark path of like, what would have happened and this and that. And they were always really cool issues. So they've kind of done like the MCU version of it. I'm not loving it so far. It's okay.
How many episodes are you in?
I think there's only 2 so far.
Okay.
The second one. Oh, the second one came out yesterday. Yeah, I need to watch it. So you're not like you're just kind of middle of the road on it so far.
Yeah, middle of the road.
Okay.
But isn't that what I haven't watched any of the Marvel shows? But
if
isn't
anybody
that
is interested in a bigger conversation about this, we talked about it in the last Capecast episode. So check that out. We had Britt on, who's like the Marvel guru.
But what I was gonna say is, isn't that kind of what the Marvel shows have been doing? From my understanding, they kind of start off a little lukewarm, and then people get excited about them. Is that what's happening? Or
There's what been 3 other shows so far, Ryan? WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and then Loki. I liked Loki, and I kind of liked that from start to end. The other 2 I did not like.
WandaVision and Loki for me were slow in the first half. But yeah, I ended up liking both of them. Falcon and Winter Soldier just wasn't my thing.
okay, yeah. So Ryan, what have you been watching?
So Katie and I, we've been wanting to do it for a while. We just finished the first season of Ted Lasso. That show is so great. I don't know if any of y'all seen it.
I'm looking forward to season 2. I haven't started it yet.
No, I have not watched it.
We watched the first one after we ate dinner. But did you like the first season?
Yeah, I did.
It's so good.
It's got a lot of charm.
It's a very it's perfect role for him.
Yeah.
And it's like all the like crap out there on TV and terrible messaging and all that. This show is the opposite. It's so wholesome and like it's great.
It's a nice, easy watch.
Yeah, for sure. Lot of feels in it too. It's pretty heartwarming.
Well, there's another show on Apple TV or Plus, what do they call it now? Trying. That's another one I rewatched, and that's pretty good too.
Is that about the parents or something?
Want to be parents? They're trying.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay.
Way to go, Al.
I think I saw was the poster with like, there was one show where they had a kid on the guy's shoulders, and the kid was peeing all down the dad's back. So I didn't know if that was it.
Oh,
yeah, Ronan Joe. If you hadn't checked it out, I'd highly recommend. It's pretty great.
I just heard that Apple is actually putting. They're going to have a Christmas movie this year. It's where that they put. It's on the list. 90G says. They're putting out $100 million Christmas movie with like Will Ferrell and somebody else big. Anyway, they're yeah, right. I really hope they don't do that. The first one's good enough. But they're supposed to be doing a couple big like budget movies. So we'll see what happens. I do respect them. I haven't, other than the Beastie Boys doc, I haven't really watched anything that I liked.
We found out we had I don't even know what it was from, but we had a free year subscription. So I'm pretty excited to kind of dig into that catalog and see what they've.
Yeah, I had a free year for buying the phone and how many other things, and they cut it short by a couple months.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
So either way, they do have a lot of stuff coming out, and I respect them for not going and buying up an old catalog and just throwing up a bunch of old stuff. They're just really building it from the ground up. So I appreciate that. All right. Brandon, you been watching anything? Has the internet let you?
Well, yes. Sometimes it does. I also watched something on Apple TV Plus this week. I watched Coda.
Katie wants to watch this.
Melissa and I watched. Melissa, so for those who don't know, Coda is about a family who, Coda stands for Child of Deaf Adults. And so it's about this family who the daughter is the only hearing individual in the family. The mom, dad, and older brother are all three deaf. And they run like this fishing company. And she's, it's got a double meaning because she's also super into music, and Coda is a musical term. Anyway, it's Melissa used to sign, but she took ASL in college and high school, but she used to interpret for a guy at our church. So she's always had a fascination with these types of films and just this lifestyle and these people. So she didn't know this was even a thing, and so I was like, I got a movie that just came out on Apple TV Plus that we should watch, and we sat down and watched it, and it was great. I really enjoyed this movie. It was just super endearing, great story, like fantastic performances all around. And from my knowledge, no like talent that I recognized. So I didn't have any baggage going into it with like seeing people that you typically associate with roles and things like that. But yeah, I thought it was awesome.
It makes sense. That's what they advertise before every episode of Ted Lasso on Apple TV. So if there's a heartwarming element to it, I feel like probably the same audience. But I also agree with Ted Lasso. You don't see a lot of other than Jason Sudeikis. It's pretty like you don't know anybody in the cast. So that was kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, Marley Matlin's in that. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, is that the mom?
I'm guessing Nani G just said she wants to see it. Marley Matlin is great, so I'm guessing
she looked familiar, like I seen her. Mom did, but is she deaf
in real life? Yes,
in real life. Yeah. Okay. Because I mean, everybody was super convinced. Like I assumed that the three actors were all three because they were like just it was similar to Sound of Metal, where you had a lot of real deaf actors in that. It's just really believable. And we talk about a lot about like tangible movies that feel lived in, and this was definitely one of those. So I would definitely recommend it.
That is awesome.
It did the things that I want a movie like this to do, which is get me in the feels. And yeah.
Are you now paying for Apple TV, Brandon? Apple P
at least
Plus,
for a month.
TV Plus, okay.
I got it for a month, but that David Goyer show is about to drop next month on Apple TV.
Y'all gotta make sure
Plus
you
as well.
Try Ted Lasso at least during your month.
No, that one's on my list. I added a few things to the watch list, which actually I learned that the PlayStation 5 you can get 6 months for free. So I think I'm going to do that.
I have my membership for free because it turns out families share stuff. My older brother is registered as part of my family, so he has no idea that I'm just piggybacking on his.
Nice.
So, Brent, did you say PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
You have a PlayStation 5?
You didn't know?
I do.
No.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No.
You don't know.
No. Awesome. Good for you. I saw a video the other day of a lady that got mad at her boyfriend and threw his PlayStation 5 off the balcony. That seems a bit brash, but anyway. You been watching anything else, Brandon?
Still watching Sopranos. Watched another episode last night, actually. So I think we're like 4 or 5 in at this point. I mean,
what episode is Pine Barrens?
11, I think.
I think y'all said it was like 11-ish. Yeah, we're at the sister stealing the Russian girl's leg.
I need my leg. It's my leg.
Which that whole character just seems so it just seems like because that actor she has both her legs, and so it seems like such a like method choice to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this Russian character with like she's gonna have a prosthetic leg. And every time that she's on screen, it reminds me of when Dee in Always Sunny acts like she has a disability. And so it just screams like artificial to me. And then they have this like leg stealing episode that's just like super comical. Because I don't know, it's just one of those like so far out there things, especially for that character, for the sister character. She's just kind of an annoying character too. So, but
I mean, is definitely that. She's definitely annoying.
The sister's my least favorite character of the whole show. Yeah. All right. So you're watching Sopranos, watching Coda. Anything else?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just briefly, we watched, for anybody out there that has a kid, we watched Vivo on Netflix. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda. What?
The graphic was delayed. Could be your internet.
Could be.
What did Luna rate?
Definitely is. She really liked it. I actually liked it. I thought it was good. So it's it reminded me. It's like it reminded me a lot of like, it's very musical influenced. It's about a guy that was partners with this singer that ended up taking a back seat. She became famous, and he kind of lived a little like a small, like, meager life, and he ends up passing away in the beginning. And this I don't know, it's a lemur, I guess. I think it's a lemur. Me explaining it is not gonna it's not gonna make it appealing to you guys, but the musical element to it could be a spider monkey. I don't know.
This just has potential for so much fun. Brandon guessing animals.
It was a llama.
Well, it's kind of
Chupacabra.
ambiguous. I think it's some sort of monkey.
It was a gremlin.
It could be a gremlin. I don't know.
I had a friend who got chupacabra and lemur mixed up. He called me up once and asked how much I thought a chupacabra cost. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I don't have a lot of time. Just like seriously, like, what do you think a chupacabra costs?" I was like, "What?" We kept going back and forth. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, like I'm an idiot. He's like, chupacabra. What do you think they cost? And I was like, "Dude, chupacabra is like a mythical Mexican beast that drinks goat blood." And he's like, "Oh shit, what am I thinking
It's not even like remotely close.
And I was like, "Are you talking about like a lemur or something?" And he's like, "Yeah, lemur. What does like a lemur cost?" I'm like, "Why would I know what a lemur costs?" He's like, "All right, I gotta go." And that was a phone call. I'll never forget it.
Hey,
so it's actually called it's called a kinkajou or something. It's similar to a
that
monkey.
one next.
It's probably
Pikachu.
lemur. Brandon's good at pronouncing things, so
for anybody who watches this show, that's probably not how it's pronounced.
Yeah. Rhinoceros.
Well,
oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
that's it. I would recommend it if you have kids. It was good. Actually, listen. As a 35-year-old dad, I cry at a lot of things. Okay. And I will be, I'm not afraid to admit that I cried a few times in vivo. So there you go. It's, it's one of those things. You have a little daughter,
You don't have to keep talking
and
about it,
your whole life changes.
You don't have to justify yourself, man. We get it. All right.
I'm just saying.
Let them flow.
Well, I do, and I made a point because Luna cried during it too, and I noticed that she was crying, and I made a point when I was like tearing up, I took her hand and wiped my tears away, and she said, "Are you crying?" And she like made fun of me.
Well, you got to be nervous about your damn kid.
I don't know if that applies, but
the application.
I just wanted to break up the crying monotony. I'm talking about crying. So much crying. I don't cry at movies.
I respect your emotions.
I don't understand crying at movies personally. I don't do that. I've never cried at a movie.
Okay.
I don't understand.
That's great. Good job.
I don't like
Al.
The Lion King. I don't think it's a good movie.
That's a great question, Chris. That's a great question.
Yeah. No, I don't. I've never liked The Lion King, like when I was a kid or anything.
because it made you cry.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a salty discharge.
Salty discharge.
You still get a little tremors if you hear the word stampede.
No.
I know.
No.
It's so hot in here.
I honestly don't. I honestly haven't ever cried in a movie. I can't remember one that I've cried at. I don't think I've cried at one. I don't know. Whatever. But gingers don't have souls, so it works out. So, anyway.
What about you, Al? Did you watch anything that would make us cry?
Lots of stuff that would make you cry. I watched a movie that I loved as a kid.
Old Yeller.
Yeah. Actually, I just I said to the TV the other night, I was like, "Hey, I want to watch an action movie," and they came up with this movie. I didn't even know it was streaming anywhere. I got excited. It's called Toy Soldiers. This is one of those movies. It's basically Die Hard for teenagers.
It's got
These
Samwise
kids are
Gamgee in it.
Huh?
So it's got Samwise Gamgee.
Is that Sean Ashton?
It's Rudy.
Okay, yeah, that's Rudy.
Nope.
So Lucas or whatever his name is. Anyway, so this movie, I love this movie. I probably watched this movie a good 15 times when I was a kid. It was always on HBO or one of the movie channels. And about a month or so ago, I started looking for this on Blu-ray, and it was hard to find. And then when I found it, it was expensive. And it just happens to be streaming on Hulu. And I'll say this, it's still a good movie, maybe to most. It still has some good parts in it. But there's some parts that are like, oh, that's pretty cheesy because it's from the early 90s. So, but this was I really enjoyed this movie. It's about this terrorist organization that takes over a preparatory school. There we go. Ronan Joe knows what I'm talking about. It was fun. I had so much fun watching it. So much fun I cried. I just have to put it out there. But they have the terrorist organization is mad at the American government because the leader of the terrorist, his father, is imprisoned in the United States. And Roman Love Toys, yeah, there you go.
I knew I was a real man. I knew it.
Ryan, they're not toys. They're collectible figurines.
Thank you, Chris. I've been trying to tell people that for years.
So anyway, no, this movie was fun. Louis Goss Jr. is in this movie, and I just forgot about him, I guess. But he was actually really good in this movie. The performances overall were really good, but say right after the movie, I went to IMDb. I was like, what are all these guys up to now? Now, Sean Astin, I get, but some of the other people, I was like, I'm watching them on this movie. I remember they're older than I am. I remember watching this when I was a kid, and they were all like teenager. Collectible figurines equals sophistication, 90G says.
I mean, look at Ryan. He's the face of it.
That Joker's sophisticated. Tuxedos. So, but no, it's really weird to see people that you only like you encapsulate in your brain as kids and teenagers, and then to see them as 50-plus-year-old men, and they're still trying to do the acting thing to where they're getting bit parts and such like that. It's very funny, but yeah, this movie was great. I highly suggest everybody go watch this. It's just a good old dumb action movie. It's got explosions and I don't know. There's parts in there where you're just like America. Like there's parts of the movie that make you do that. It's like just one of those old salt of the earth kind of action movies. But then I changed it up with a Criterion. I felt, well, I've got blood running through my veins a little too thick right now, so I gotta thin that out with a little Criterion movie called Blow Up. This movie, well, there we go. This movie is that's okay. Michelangelo Antonioni's. This movie is about a photographer in the swinging 60s. He's out just kind of doing the photographer thing one day, just kind of like taking pictures of trees and people and stuff like that at a park. And this lady and this man go off into his like little side area, and he follows them up there just kind of voyeuristically and starts taking pictures. Thank you, Ronan Joe. I think we're becoming best friends. So
Al's got a whole show on that. So
yeah, Criterion Corner. But yeah, so they go over there. He takes some pictures and whatnot, and the lady gets really upset after she notices him. Now, the funny thing about this movie is this guy's in the middle of this real big green pasture, and he's supposed to be like not being seen. He's supposed to be like incognito, and he's got white pants on, and he's like barely hiding behind a tree, and he's taking pictures. She notices him. He goes and he blows up all the photos because it's back in the 60s, like I said. And he notices that there's a man in the bushes that you can't see with the naked eye, and something else is going on. There's a crime that happens, so on and so forth. And he has the photos and he can prove it. And that's what the whole movie's about. It's a pretty good movie. I will say this, if you're not into super artistic, like artsy fartsy movies, you're not going to like this, because the ending of this movie is extremely artsy fartsy. I'll just put it out there. It has mimes in it. So I think that says enough. And the swinging 60s thing is, being that we all know what Austin Powers is now, I mean, this is trying to be serious about the swinging 60s, because it was filmed at that time. But man, it just feels too much like an Austin Powers kind of thing, because they're all like exact same outfits and same dances and everything. So, but the movie overall was pretty good. This is on the top 100 movies of all time. So if you're looking to knock that off, that's a good one to pick up. So, all right. All right, Brandon, what do we have coming out this week?
So there's actually a ton of things. This was like, I don't know why. I don't know why this week is the week so many things are coming out, but I had to be like very choosy as far as the 3 to highlight, but I'll hit on some other ones that are coming out as well. But so the big one, I guess, is Reminiscence, which is going to be theatrical and HBO Max day and date.
Oh yeah.
That's the Hugh Jackman and what's Rebecca Ferguson? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that one comes out. The Protege, which your boy Michael Keaton is in, Al, and Maggie Q.
Maggie Cutie.
And Sam Ale is also in it. And then we talked about Blomkamp earlier. Demonic comes out.
Yeah.
Those last two are both theatrical. Also, I think let's see. So Sweet Girl, the Jason Momoa movie, comes out on Netflix. The Night House, which is that what's the girl from The Prestige and your Christine
Rebecca Hall.
Rebecca Hall. So she's in that. And then Habit, Al's most anticipated movie, comes out theatrically as well.
It looks silly. I'm excited about the Demonic. I kind of want to see the Reminiscence. You guys going to go see any of these? I know we talked about Demonic earlier, but
I plan to see Reminiscence at home. Yeah. Which maybe we can watch that this weekend. Ryan, you're coming up. Chris,
I got plans.
Oh, okay.
Okay, looking forward to Protege because of director Martin Campbell. All right, Ron and Joe.
Yeah, Martin Campbell, who did Casino Royale and Green Lantern.
Wonder if we'll get flagged for saying demonic too much on one episode. It's like we're just like demonic. Yeah, I'm probably. I was telling them earlier, Brandon, when you had a drop off
trailer for Habit. I'm interested to check that trailer out.
Oh yeah, get ready.
It just says reminiscent of early Tarantino.
No.
Is it not? Okay.
It's one of those like hype quotes they try to. I don't know. They were just trying to pull. I don't know. It
feels like
silly.
Spring Breakers. A little bit. Just very kind of irreverent.
I got you.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, are you gonna make a trip to the theater to see Demonic?
No. I did listen to an interview with I listened to a little bit of the interview on Rogan, but they also had him on Cinema Blend, the Real Blend podcast, and listened to that. And it's really cool. Like listening to him talk about the technical aspect of that movie was interesting. they're using some very new, unrefined tech, similar to not necessarily not exactly like bullet time that was used that kind of was pioneered in the Matrix, but like this new, I can't remember what he called it. But it's so new that they had to create a story element to kind of ride away the flaws that exist right now in the tech, because it's a little buggy. And so, but if you watch the trailer, there's like, it's kind of like an augmented reality type thing that they do. But visually it looks cool. It was all filmed over quarantine. So, I mean, and he said that it wasn't necessarily going to be, because we've talked about him having been on board a few other projects that weren't able to get off the ground, like Alien 5 and RoboCop, whatever it was going to be called, the kind of a Lego sequel, RoboCop to RoboCop 2. But yeah, he wasn't intending to do this because he's I think he hasn't made anything since Chappie as far as theatrical. He's been doing a lot of like short film stuff through his Oats company.
Ronan Joe was saying we need to check out Zygote if we're into horror movies. So
yeah, if it's like the thing, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Is that one of his?
Yeah, that's what he was saying, that he's been doing some real interesting things in the horror genre lately. So
nice.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's his homage
Chris
to,
and Al.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, you want to let's do a little review on Carter and Corner.
You busy this weekend?
I mean, like I said, I can ditch those plans.
I got nothing going on Saturday.
Nothing important. So I'm excited. Just I'm itching to go to the theater. I've just been jonesing to go to the theater lately, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, we'll do that. Ron and Joe YouTube Oats Studio channel, so we'll do that. So check that out. But yeah, I want to see that, and I want to see Demonic, and I want to see Pig. Pig just isn't playing anywhere near, so I think I'm gonna have to end up watching that at home eventually. But because people are just raving about that, like I was talking about last week. But
Brian
I think I'm gonna go.
Callen said it was the worst movie he'd ever seen.
I haven't heard that from anybody else, but I mean, maybe, I don't know. Looking forward to it. I'll go see Demonic. I'm going to try to see it this weekend, maybe Sunday. See Demonic on Sunday. So, yeah.
It's fitting.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Ryan, do you want to tell everybody where they can find us?
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm
Yeah, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube.
Completely didn't I didn't see the first half of that video, by the way. That's how terrible my internet is.
Hit the subscribe button here on YouTube and notification bell so you can stay up to date on all our videos we post. We're on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNE and we have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/CiNEMACHiNEPod. We appreciate all the support we get there. Nani, thank you for your support on Patreon. We appreciate that.
Yes. More people need to go follow Nani's lead.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Well, Chris, do you have any parting words? We want to thank you for joining us for sure.
I'm sorry, Brandon, about your internet. Now
I'm
sorry you can't cry during Lion King.
Did y'all play Chris's drop?
Thank you, Manji.
No.
Wait.
Chris!
I'll pick you up at noon.
Chris!
Awesome, I'm busy!
I'm busy, stupid dick!
Every time.
Best. You have to play it.
Oh. Did anybody buy any physical media this week? Forgot to talk about that.
Not that I have yet. I ordered some stuff.
I got a new vinyl, as I teased earlier. I don't want to leave this out. I did tease it. I bought the Unforgiven soundtrack on Sand
More of a
vinyl.
black vinyl.
Is that
kinda
real
guy.
sand?
It's real sand. It's
Just
just
sound
like
terrible.
Yeah, I had to buy 3 new stylus.
That's what's so great about vinyl. You just embrace it.
Yeah, man.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience.
I got a furry vinyl. It's all good. So, but no, it's
Where'd you get that vinyl?
a good old buddy of mine named Brandon Guzman picked it up from old Barnes and Noble because they're having a 50% off about 6 vinyl. Yes, it is awesome. I highly suggest if you can grab this to grab it. But I know Brandon got a vinyl this week. What'd you get, Brandon?
He can't show it, but
well,
Sing it to us.
I'm showing it right now.
No, look at that, everybody. Oh,
No,
straight from Themyscira.
That's a Cape Cast show, I guess. I got the Wonder Woman soundtrack from Al, picked it up as well. We did an exchange. We did a vinyl exchange. He picked up one, I picked up one, and he was probably embarrassed to take my purchase to the counter.
I did. I bought something else to put in front of
this
it.
This is not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not for me, everybody. It's not. No, I mean, you said you wanted the BVS soundtrack.
I got a few things. I do want that because I bought
us a word picture. Describe it to us.
Yeah.
I want to put out a public service announcement. Mondo, can you please send me my records I ordered like a couple months ago? I know Ryan's in the same boat. It's like I messaged them and I said, hey, when are my records going to come? They're going to ship in August.
Sometimes the galleries take a little while, It's like finally, you got to just embrace it. All right.
So, yeah, I'm getting the Bill and Ted and the Shining EP. So, yeah, I bought a couple. I bought 4. Too. Yeah, I bought 4 of the EP of the 7-inch Shining. But so I'm pretty excited about that. And then Ryan and I ordered something extremely special that we're getting at the end of August. So stay tuned for that.
I'm still, if it's going to come in August, I don't know. We'll see. I feel like it could be later, but I hope it's the end of August.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually had Brandon pick some up for me, but I'm scared to travel now when it's close to when my vinyl might be here because I don't want to leave it out in the heat. So it's like, and I frantically called the postal service one day. It's like, yeah, could you please hold on to my package? I'm not in town. And they're like, and I was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I called them the night before, but of course they were closed. Called them 8 o'clock in the morning. They called me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, we saw we had a call from you. I was like, yeah, the package was already delivered and I had a friend pick it up. So Brandon was nice enough to drive past my house and pick the vinyl up and keep it in fair weather. So
what a guy.
I'm telling you.
I did that.
2 Pink Floyd originals.
I called my mom. I had to call my mom yesterday because my Scott Pilgrim vinyl got delivered. And I said, hey, you mind swinging by my house? So put something in the AC for me.
Yeah, I did buy something that you guys might be interested in over there on Cape Cast World. I bought Batman 89. I bought 3 copies of it, 3 different covers, the comic. So I have the main cover that's coming in.
Well, look at you.
That's Superman.
How do you know that?
I believe you.
Not my Batman. So anyway, I got those, and I don't know if I'm going to read any of them, but there's the comic book store that I went to kind of cranked up the price on one of them, but I bought it anyway, so whatever. But pretty excited to have those. So I'm an 89 Batman
cool,
fool. Yeah. So anyway, so that's enough about us. Well, thanks again, Chris, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a blast. Brandon, thank you for kind of joining us.
Nothing Chris likes better than popping open a cold apple juice and talking movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody out there, in YouTube world. Thank you also for joining us. Be sure, like Ryan said, to check us out on all our social media. Brandon, you want to put your Wonder Woman up on Instagram so everybody can see it? And
do it.
I like the word picture idea better.
Yeah, the word picture. Yeah, I think. Why don't you put up on Instagram your word picture? It's like, I think you should do that. So anyway, everybody, thanks so much for joining us here on CiNEMAChine. We'll see you all next week for another live episode. And in the near future, with all the movies coming out, maybe some actual reviews of movies. But until next time, please continue to watch tons of movies. And we'll see you all on the next CiNEMAChine.